Hey, Maxima, can you mute your mic and let's try?
Um, I am on.
Yes. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
you know, I'm sure you're surprised what happened. This stuff happens to us here all the time. Being on these spaces sometimes it's like living with a certain electricity company in Uganda. Um, you wake up one day and there's no power. So, can you still hear me and be able to speak?
Yes, perfectly.
Wonderful. So I was introducing you, and let me just also try and sort out the title because I've had to get back on. Let me allow a few people to join in. So just be on standby. Don't do anything with your mic.
Okay.
While I sort this out so that we can. I'm sure we'll work this out. Don't worry. It's in a few minutes. We shall be well underway and talking about our big story that is Livara. So okay. So let me just put this in and then we will get underway.
Okay.
Good. Done. Okay, so let me do that and then I need to bring in a my man Otoa. So, Tony, I've sent you an invite to co-host. So, when you accept it, I'll introduce you to our speaker today, guys. I'm sorry that this has happened to us, but hey, we're gonna get started. Maxima is here. Tony, I think you're still in the village, which is probably explains why you're yeah. Okay, Tony, are you there?
Hey, Robert.
Okay. Maxima.
Yes, Johnny.
Ah, okay. Please meet Mr. Tony Otoa.
Robert, we grew
Yes.
up as children right together. We were neighbors.
No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You didn't. You don't grow up as children,
Oh,
because
okay.
children assumes that you.
Okay. We,
But
we were
Maxima,
raised around the
listen,
same time.
Maxima, listen, Maxima. Then something happened. Huh?
Um,
So while Maxima, while you went on to become a distinguished engineer, Tony went on to become a prize-winning meat roaster.
That's what they call adulting.
yes.
Okay, okay. So I was saying earlier on, guys, started. I was saying, uh, I know people are looking for investable businesses, and all of us are putting together money to go and participate in the MTN IPO. And I'm telling everybody who is listening that you better start saving your money now, because the day Maxima takes her Livara Beauty to the market, I can predict it will be a blue chip company, and I am sure there will be money to be made. And so, if you have your investment capital now, in fact, I know there's quite a few people who come onto this show who have large amounts of money and are looking for investment opportunities. If I were you guys and I have a loose $1 million doing nothing, I would give it to Maxima now, because this is a promising business.
Wow.
Maxima Nsimenta, you're very welcome.
That is very, very kind of you, Robert. I appreciate that.
I'm just I'm just telling the truth.
yes.
So I'm going to put you on the spot
Okay.
here. By the way, I prefer to use people's real names. So I prefer to call you Cimenta on
Yes,
this show.
please.
Is that fine? So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you a very direct
Mm.
question. How old are you?
I turned 35 on September 23rd.
When did you found Livara?
In It was established in May 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We started
Mm-hmm.
testing and practicing in a year and a half before, in around February 2014.
How old were you when you quit your job and started this?
28,
20 what?
27.
So at 27, you quit your job and started a business, and you've grown it to where it is
Oh,
today.
God. Am I still on?
Yes, you're still on. It's just there's a bit of a delay, but you're still on.
Hmm.
Nsimenta, you're still with us. I can hear you very well.
Okay, perfect.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, sorry, there's always these gaps and we always have these, but don't worry, just be patient with us. We will hear you. Don't lose hope. Eventually it will stabilize.
Okay, that's noted. Thanks.
So I was saying at 27,
Mm.
you quit a good job and went and started business.
Yes.
We, we shall come back to that, but I was putting that out there for a lot of young people in their mid and late 20s who are trying to find their way, that there are people like you, because they might think that what you've done is being done by somebody on the fifth floor like me. No, we're talking about somebody who is very young. So let's sort of go back to the time when you were growing up in the same neighborhood with Ottawa. Where was this?
That was in Ginger on Gokale Road. They were our
Oh
neighbors.
my.
Actually, his mom saved my brother from a very serious asthma attack, and she rushed in her less suit to pick him up. They took him to hospital, and because of her, he got saved from death. So his is a very intimate family relationship.
So Tony gets to benefit from the goodness of his mother. Okay, but we shall come. So there is redemption after all. So Cimenta,
Yes.
I am a bit curious,
Mm.
and I always want to know, when you look back now, um, to your childhood and those times, was there anything that indicated to you that, one, you had a certain interest or love for business, and or anything to do with your current line of business, which is cosmetics?
Um, my mother has always been entrepreneur. My mother's side has always
Let's
been
start with let's start with actually the simpler question. Who are your folks?
so. My parents come from Kabale,
Mhm.
which is I think right now Ruchiga district, from Paro.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yes,
don't tell me you're
yeah,
Musiji.
I'm a Musiji.
Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. It gets worse.
Yes. So I
Okay.
am lucky to have one of my grandmothers is Teresa Mbire, so I was kind of mentored from a young age.
Teresa, Teresa,
Yes, I
Teresa,
I've
Teresa,
always
Teresa.
so I've had these people that I've looked
That's.
up to in business.
Mm,
However,
mhm,
personally, I liked defying people from secondary school. I was used
mhm,
to do the eyebrows, do some makeup for
mhm.
Sosh. So yes,
Really?
I was your go-to person for those things. Anyway, that aside, come university, I was on the projects that were we did the first electrical car. It was a government project, so I did the what you would call the dashboard while I was in my first
You
year.
were in Makere.
Yes, Makerere University, our very own.
So you are with the Ntambi. Is it Ntambi? That group of
Jeremy Ntambi, yes, they were 2 years
Jeremy.
ahead.
Yes. Yes, Jeremy Ntambi. Then there was one of them is at New Vision, Peter Kola. There's
Mhm.
a whole cohort of really brilliant guys.
And I
Yes.
was mentored by a one Daudi Nanambi, Mr. Wachiko, very brilliant mathematician.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So I
Okay.
had this
Okay. Now,
line of intellectual people that I looked up to. And
we had Daudi here. When was it? Was it in July?
yes, yes, you did. And I listened in on that.
He's a genius. Eh? He's an absolute genius.
Yes.
Okay, Nsimenta, they say you are the company you keep. So if you've been keeping company like Nanambi, you are okay. You are you're good to go.
Well,
Yes. So you were saying when you go to university, but let's first go back. So okay, you did all this beauty stuff,
yes.
but the journey in high school, how was it academically? What were you
Oh,
studying? What came easily to
I
you?
was doing physics, chemistry, math, economics.
Eh,
My academic journey has really been good. PLE, I
mm,
was the best girl in Mukono. S4, I had 11 in
mm.
10. S6, I think I had
Wow.
23 points or something like that. Macquarie, I had a first class.
Hmm.
So, academic wise, I
Hey,
come from a family where it was important to really be among the best. So,
can I tell you? Can I tell you something?
yes,
I left I left the faculty of law with a past degree.
but you, but you still passed.
so so I don't even know what I'm doing talking to you. Okay, let's go on. Sorry. Yeah.
Anyway, that
Hmm.
aside, I was always encouraged to really work hard because my parents were
Yes.
peasants. Like my mother, her first
Mm,
pair of shoes in S4, and her aim in life was to
mm,
educate her children. And she kept on telling us that you must go further than I have gone. For her, she has done her part.
mm,
So come S6,
mm,
she told all of us she's not supporting us on campus. We have to look out for ourselves.
mhm,
So we all got government scholarship, all five of
mhm,
us. So she kept on saying, you have to go
mhm,
and do more, you have to do more, you have to do more. So my whole
mm,
campus life was trying to prove a point that I was doing electrical engineering, I did well. Then um,
mm,
went on to work in the oil and gas industry, got
mm.
expatriated in Schlumberger. But before then, I had 8 months
So
of
wait, wait a minute, Cimenta.
yes,
So you do Makerere,
yes,
you get involved in these projects,
yes,
you get your first class degree.
yes.
So do you go straight to work in oil or you further your studies?
No, I worked throughout campus. So I was employed by the government projects. We used to earn 2 million shillings a month throughout campus from my first year. I was working and
Nga
studying
you
at the same time.
nga you were loaded 2M.
Way. I even saved up and started a pharmacy. Anyway, we were working hard. Like it has always been work because I knew my parents had told me, had given me an ultimatum. We're not really financially supporting you. So I had to look out for myself and work because even if they could afford to support, for them, we all had to support ourselves. So we had to work, right?
So you're studying this degree in electrical engineering and you're working as what?
Developing software, doing
Ah,
projects. There were projects at campus. So after studying, you go do your
okay.
work. And then we also had to
Mm-hmm.
pass because it was imperative to pass if you're to be maintained on the projects.
Or you have to pass your courses also.
Yes, you had to excel.
So here so here is this girl, Nsimenta, who is studying, working, and still is able to deliver on all the projects and get a first class degree.
We thank God.
Yeah,
Yes.
we shall do that. But first of all, we must find out how did she do it
Um,
as a human being.
Planning, having the right people and friends around
Mm,
myself. So I would look
mm,
out for the best in my class, and then ensure that I
mm,
surround myself with those particular people. That way, we study
mm,
together, we plan together, and we execute together. It was much easier. If I don't understand a course, I know someone understands it and they can guide me. So it was all
mm,
about surrounding oneself with
mm,
as we were
mm.
growing up. So anyway, fast forward, I
So the only mistake really
Mm.
of the people you surrounded yourselves with was Tony Otoa.
no,
Okay, let's go on. So so you so you get your first class degree in engineering, and where do you go after that?
so after graduation, I knew I didn't want to continue with the programming life, but I also didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I go on an 8 month hiatus where I needed to really discover myself. It was a very
Mm,
depressing period of time because I had these offers of jobs, but I knew I didn't want them. But then again, I also didn't really understand what I wanted to do with my life. So I was
mm,
broken during that time of discovery.
mm,
Towards the end of the 8 months, actually, Daudi suggests we have a discussion, and then he suggests that the oil and gas industry is the future of the country. So maybe I need to look into it. So I
mm,
do more research, and then I
mm,
apply for Total E&P. I joined the oil and gas industry here in Uganda. Shortly after that,
mm.
I move on to Schlumberger, which is, like the biggest oil and gas service company in the world. So
Yeah,
I
true.
get this perfect job, 10K average
Hmm.
take home per month. It is awesome.
Mm,
It's amazing. But then I was dumped in Congo. I didn't really speak French at the time. I had these
mm.
KPIs. Schlumberger teaches you to really hustle in the jungle. So you have to figure
Uh-huh.
yourself out immediately. Otherwise,
Yes.
you fail and you're booted out of the company. There's no mercy.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So I
Right.
had to learn
It's
French.
ruthless.
And then, well, I went with my relaxed hair. So as I'm in Congo with my relaxed
Hmm.
hair, 3 months down the
Mm.
road, I need to retouch, go and
Hmm.
do that chemical
Where?
treatment.
Which Congo?
Congo, Brazzaville, in the oil district called Point Noir.
Oh yes, that's isn't it out there in the west, almost even in the ocean?
It's an ocean town, yes.
It's in the yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
Yes. So 3 months down the road, I need to relax my hair. So I go out during lunch break to a salon that
Hmm.
is in the middle of Congo, Point Noir. It was a high-end town. So I enter this salon
Yes.
and ask them to retouch my hair, and then they tell me blatantly that they cannot do it. These are black girls working in a salon in Africa, and I'm being told that they can't work on my hair. So I feel
Why?
because I didn't have the chemicals apparently for my hair, they only had for Caucasian hair. So I
They didn't have anything for kinky hair.
apparently. So I go to the next salon, same thing. The next salon,
As Nsimenta, as people used to say in Kampala, omwavu wakufa. So
wallahi.
you were dying.
Yes.
Wallahi. Uh-huh.
So I go to the third salon. They advise me to go 1 kilometer out of town to the market area to
Mm-hmm.
retouch my hair. I get so pissed. I go to a barber shop, chop my hair to your kind of hair,
Mm-hmm.
like P1 chopping. I
Mm.
really cleaned off my head. So
Eh.
1 month down the road, my hair is growing. I don't know how to take care of it. So that's when the challenges start. Um,
Hmm.
yes, I start looking around for African products, for African hair. There were
Mm.
mainly Indian
Mm.
products and
Mm.
Caucasian hair products that I quickly
Mm.
noticed didn't really work well with my hair. Then the good thing is
Yes.
that we were really well traveled. So as we are
Mm.
traveling
Mm.
around the world, doing some work
Mm.
and vacations,
Mm.
I realized that there are all these beautiful products which were getting raw materials from Africa, and they would proudly say, proudly from Kenya, proudly is it Egyptian, argan oil
Mm.
from Israel. Like they had all,
Morocco.
thank you, Morocco, and they were proudly
Mm.
African, but there was nothing made in Africa for my African
Mm.
hair. So I discussed this
Mm.
with my sister Gloria, and then she tells me about shea butter, moringa oil, how we can add value to
Mm.
that. In my research,
Mm.
I quickly realized that there's a gap because if I have this
Uh-huh.
problem, someone else clearly has the problem.
The same problem.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I get my vacation, my first vacation. I come to Uganda, drive up north, start doing like groundwork to see if there's raw
Ah.
material, if it's
Ah. Ah. Ah.
sustainable,
Ah.
things like that.
By the way,
Yes.
Nsimenta, before I forget,
Mm.
I must introduce you to somebody called TMS Rouge.
Oh, I know Rouge, they're friends.
Ah, good. But do you know Okello Ojok?
I've heard that name before.
Ojok Okello. Have you heard of Okere City?
No, no, I haven't.
Okay, so the four of us
Mhm.
are going to go to Okere City, or the three of us will go and visit Ojok Okelo Jok at Okere City
Okay.
because uh, Ted produces moringa.
Yes.
I have coffee.
Yes.
Ojok has shea butter.
Mm-hmm.
You have the cosmetic world, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We go there because I want to make a coffee based shea butter moringa body scrub. But
That
anyway,
would be
let's
awesome.
continue. Mhm.
Please add me to your trip of people. I am willing to
We are
come.
going with you. We're going four of us. I mean, three, me, you, Ted, and then we'll find Okelo Jok
Perfect.
there.
I will add the value and create the product. I give my word on that.
Let's go.
Anyway,
The business is done. Let's continue.
yes. So
Yes.
I keep driving around and I realize that the shea tree is actually sustainable and the grade that we have in Uganda is very cosmetic and pharmaceutical. It's potent, it's rich,
Mhm.
and boom, plan made. I have my business idea. So I do my Google work.
Okay.
The
Mhm.
numbers add up. We do projections. Numbers are perfect.
Mhm.
I decide this is what I
Mhm.
want to do. I had my
Mhm.
history of loving beauty products. I didn't want to buy and resell. I needed to manufacture because I wanted to
Mhm.
create something that is mine
Mhm.
specifically,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
also that is African. Then I realized that
Mhm.
the bulk of the shea butter is exported from West Africa as nuts,
Mhm.
and there was no
Mhm.
particular product to which value was added that was African made. Well,
Mhm.
we are more than 3 billion Africans. For me, that was a done deal. Immediately,
Yes.
I start planning. So I plan it.
Mhm.
This is
Mhm.
7 months into my job. So saving up.
You are mad.
Yes. I start saving up. I have a target.
Mm.
When I get to
Mm.
$75,000, I quit. But then I also
Ah.
had to travel around the world to be sure that I'm exposed enough to have the
Mm.
brand and the quality that I needed.
Yes.
Then I start introducing my business plan to my grandmother, asking for advice. She introduces me to Uganda
Mhm.
Industry Research Institute, URI.
Kwesiga.
Yes, she shows me how we can manufacture at low cost.
Mm.
Well, I ask her to get me an interview or a meeting. She
Mhm.
books me one, but she
Mm.
says, I'm going to leave you there. Figure yourself out. For me, I've done my part. Typical her. Anyway, so
Yes.
the day of
Yes.
the
Yes.
meeting,
Yes.
she actually drops me
Yes.
at Yuri. I didn't have a car at that
Mhm.
time. She drops me at the gate
Mm.
and tells me, Maxi, I've done
Mhm.
my part. Go and fail or
Iroko.
succeed. Yeah.
Iroko Jeni.
Aha! But she has done her part. So she leaves me there. I go for my meeting. Professor Kwesiga is US trained, so he's into numbers and
No,
accuracy of
and
thought.
he's a great guy.
Yes.
By the way, he's a really, really great guy. He's a great mentor. Yes.
So much. So he starts asking me real questions. What have you seen? Is it what are the numbers? What's the forest range? Things that I had calculated, taken pictures of, did aerial shots, put in my business plan. So he
Mhm.
immediately told me that you're too ambitious. You won't really make it. You bright people come here and then after a few years you leave. I told him I will prove you
Mm.
wrong. I have a plan and it must
Yes.
work out. So
Mhm.
I ask for incubation, he gives me incubation. I go back to Congo.
Mm.
Well, I plan my
Mhm.
exit. I've gotten my capital. I write to my manager. I tell him that I want to leave. I actually bought a ticket for Friday to leave. I told him on
Mhm.
Monday that I have my ticket. I'm resigning. I'm leaving on Friday. So it doesn't matter what you do.
Uh-huh.
I'm out. So
Ah.
he comes back.
Yeah.
He rejects my resignation, comes back after 2 days, offers me a 1 year
Uh-huh.
leave of absence. This is one thing I will forever be grateful for. Um,
Was it fully
fully
paid?
paid 1 year leave of absence. So I had been doing a lot
Wow.
of work at Congo. I I
Yes.
I took care of several projects that were first timers on the African continent, and I made
Yes.
them succeed. I led the team that
Okay.
installed the first dual ESP. It was eight
Yeah.
kilometers deep in offshore Congo. It was amazing
What is
work.
what is an e what is an
Hey, sorry,
ESP?
sorry,
For us,
sorry.
we are just only.
So our oil in Uganda is heavy and it needs a
Yes.
pump to pull it to the surface.
Yes.
So the most
Yes.
efficient pumps are electrical submersible pumps, ESP.
Ah, okay.
Yes. Now,
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Congo, they have a similar profile of oil to that of Uganda. So my
Mhm,
job was
mhm,
actually to learn from Congo and then come back to Uganda to manage the the schlumberger here
mhm,
for artificial
mhm,
lift. But I left before
mhm.
time. So maybe part of that was to encourage me to keep on the job or something like that.
You're a woman in a hurry.
Yes. Anyway,
Mhm,
that done.
mm,
Um,
mm,
he offers it to me on Wednesday. Friday comes, I leave. I'm very grateful.
mm,
I come back here
mm,
to Uganda. The initial plan was to extract Russia, but the machinery
mm,
was supposed to be purchased by Yuri. Then I do my part of
mm.
buying raw materials. I add value, build
Yeah.
myself, and then leave.
Mm.
However,
Yes.
there were some issues. Elections happened. Yuri didn't have the money to purchase the materials.
Mm-hmm.
So I quickly had to
Mm,
switch my idea. Instead of
mm.
doing the raw shea butter, I do the final product. Remember, when I was
Yeah.
still in Congo, I was already developing products here in Uganda. So I had a
Mm-hmm.
whole year plus of product development. When we had a fully
Mm,
made product that I was sure would pass, that's when I
mm.
quit my job to actually come and be fully present
Yeah.
for that. So it was easy to
Yes.
switch
Because
from,
you still
yeah.
had that 1 year leave, right? Of
No, for
absence.
me, whether it was on or not, this was my thing that had to
You
work.
had decided, and you had decided you had quit.
Yes, I
You
honestly
know that
wasn't going back.
there's one of our earlier mentors who is on. I know he's listening, Hilary Bamulinde,
Mm.
and he told us that there are times when jumping is the only option you have, and you just jump.
Yes, you don't look back, you don't care what is down, you just boom, you
Go.
figure
That's
out
it.
where you land. That is absolutely right. So I
Okay.
jumped like Hillary.
Uh-huh.
So
And you landed in Nakawa. You are
aha,
you.
I landed in Nakawa. Professor was shocked to see me there ready for work. He thought I was crazy. So anyway, we start work.
Yeah.
Well, the
Mm.
mishap happens. I'm not able to get the machines. So it was very
Yeah.
painful because the numbers were just perfect. We had done
Yeah.
projections. It was a perfect idea. And it wasn't going to be
Mm.
very expensive to execute. So
Yes.
the plan gets down. I rethink. I say, okay, fine, we have
Huh?
products, put them out. So there was a bride and groom
Yes.
expo that was happening. Um, we
Mm.
get a stall. I was told 1 week
Mm.
to the
Mm.
expo. Immediately, I put down my car 2.3 million. I bought
Mm.
space.
I I I benefited from it
Eh,
because that expo was I used to work somewhere.
expo started me up meanwhile. It was a very good place to
Eh,
start businesses. So for that, I'm very grateful.
when am I getting my bonus Livara products?
By the way, it shouldn't even be you. There's a lady called Claire Nanyunja.
Yes, Claire was one of my
Oh
best
my God, Claire
salespersons. Best.
convinced me to purchase, and she told me,
Yes.
Maxi, you will never regret this. Bride and Groom Expo will really set your career off, rather your business off. And indeed, she was right. So
Yeah.
Claire
Yeah. Yeah.
Nanyunja, 100% perfect person for marketing. If anyone wants to
Eh,
have her, look for her.
but but the leader also of Claire
Yes,
Nanyonja.
you mentored her very well.
No, no, no worries. Let's go.
So anyway,
So you dive into the
we
expo.
dive in.
What?
I didn't even have designs. I got people at the expo to
Mm,
set up the tent. It was really
mm,
haphazard things. But we get our
mm,
products, put them up. The expo starts
mm,
Friday. I do not make a
mm-hmm,
sale. The whole, like,
mm,
for the expo was open, it opened at around 7 a.m. So the lady next to
mm.
me was making sales. She had cars for weddings. So there were lots of
Yes,
brides,
yes.
next to her. She looked at me. She felt so sorry. She said, Maxi, let me buy from you one car thing. Maybe you'll get sales. So she came, she got the cheapest product. We had we had an anti-aging butter. It was 10,000. She bought it. She said, I hope you make sense. True to her word anyway. After her, we
Yeah.
made sales. That day, we made sales of 1.5 million shillings. I was able to cover.
And for you, that was it.
I beg your pardon?
That was exciting.
Yes. Oh my God. People buying products was because for me, all I wanted was
Yeah.
one sale. Honestly speaking, I just wanted
Yeah.
one sale.
Mm.
Because if someone is willing to
Uh,
put money in my business, I
mm,
am sure there's someone
mhm.
else like her. So I went with
Yeah.
the aim of selling one product. That's all I really
Mm.
looked out for. It was an investment. But we ended up making
Yeah.
around 2.65 million from those 3 days. We
Mm.
covered the expense of the bride and groom expo, which was very
And you made
good.
some balance.
No, we covered that expense. There was also decorating fees
Oh
and
yeah.
the
Okay.
rest.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Minus,
But you broke even.
yes,
Let's say you broke
yes, we
even
did.
because you you got a lot of publicity, and
Yes.
then you.
And Claire kept on
Mhm.
coming, encouraging us. I remember I even got a
Mm.
certificate. She said, keep this certificate and put it up in your premises. It will, add value.
Mm.
And it did add value. People would come and say, oh, you were at the Bride and Groom Expo. It's like, yes, yes, yes. We were the only natural
Mm.
hair. Is it like it was just a marketing thing, but it was nice. So, anyway, the things we have done. So anyway,
Mhm.
that
So,
moved on. So I started looking for how to put the product out to market now, given that I had
but
gotten,
meanwhile, you're still in incubation at this
yes,
point, right?
and
Okay.
yes. So immediately I started looking for cheap ways of marketing. That was very core.
Mm.
So I had
Mm.
gotten already my quality right. Yuri has
Mm.
extensive research on ground and they have very
Mm.
good chemists. Now, I am a
Mm.
chemist. I do not intend to make products personally. I prefer to work with
Mm.
people that are experienced in the field because quality is extremely important for me. And I do not compromise on
Yes,
that up to today.
because you see, you're dealing with people's skins, their appearances. I mean, if anything goes wrong, you are messed for
Exactly.
left forever.
And not even that, I'm an engineer. So for me, one is one.
Yes.
I, I don't
Hmm.
mess with quality. And I believe in
Good.
science
Good.
so much. So if something is not
Mm.
researched, there's always something
Mm.
missing. Then I'm not an advocate of
Mm.
working in my kitchen. I prefer working with
Mm.
chemists that know and understand what they're
Mm.
doing. So for me, that was
Mm.
important. When
Mm.
that was covered, then marketing and pushing the product out. So the cheapest source was Facebook at the time. We've
Mm.
now pushed to Instagram and Twitter and
Mhm.
doing YouTube videos.
Mhm.
Social media is very cheap and it's easy
Mhm.
to use. Plus, there is a huge market that is ready to
Mhm.
consume whatever information you take in,
Mhm.
and they're also ready to
Mhm.
buy. If someone is willing to
Mhm.
purchase data, they are willing to purchase a 10,000, 50,000 shilling product. So
Mhm. Mhm.
it was very important for me to push through that angle, and indeed, it worked. So for 1.5
Okay.
years, we were solely focused on Facebook. Reason being,
Mm.
we were waiting for this building to come up that had a particular space that I really wanted. So I was
Uh-huh.
always going to the building. I got to know the owner, the family. I knew these
Yeah.
people who were pushing the wheelbarrows. Sometimes I would even help.
Mm.
Like I was really lobbying and courting for my one space
Okay. Where was this
on
building?
Buganda Road at that
Ah.
junction. And the building was owned by a
Yes.
lady.
Yes.
Anyway, so I
Yes.
really
Uh-huh.
courted for that space. And because it was woman owned, I felt this is it. I have arrived.
Mm-hmm.
My first
Yeah.
shop.
Liberation.
1.5 years
Uh-huh.
of courting. They were
Yes.
ready to open. And I was boldly told, I am sorry, madam, your
Uh-huh.
things are in black tins. They will not work. We want a brand that has already been around, butter specifically. So we will
Uh-huh.
not give you that
Uh-huh.
space after 1.5 years.
Of pushing wheelbarrows, moreover.
I had pushed them before, so it was easy for me. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
so I felt really pained, but
Yeah.
immediately I went looking for another
Mm.
space at
Mm.
Cementi, got space in the cube. 2 weeks, shop
Mm.
is up, and immediately our revenue
Uh-huh.
ramped up. So
Okay.
I needed, I think, that push to make me stop
Mm.
waiting and relying on Facebook
Mm.
and instead use
Mm.
this avenue. So our sales
Yeah.
moved from 2.3 million to like 12 million in
Hmm.
1 month. And that was
Wow,
very
that's big.
important. So
Mm,
after
mm,
that, the
mm.
Chisementi shop opened the Ntinda shop from savings
Yes.
and different sources of money. So we opened the Ntinda
Mm,
shop, which had a salon. Reason being, we realized people wanted a
mm,
place to work on their hair that is natural hair centered,
mm,
and we had the
mm,
products. So we needed to prove that they
mm,
worked, right? So
mhm,
having a
mhm.
salon
Yes.
attached to the shop was very important for our customer experience. And then,
So you realize that it wasn't enough to
yes,
just talk about your product and get people to go and try
yes,
it. You gave them an
to
opportunity
actually use.
to experience. Yes, but I believe that also had its benefit. I'm sure people would give you feedback
Of
immediately.
course, it is a very nice place to get data for improvement. And then
Mm-hmm,
also,
mm-hmm,
the customers literally help us improve and help direct our growth because we base our
mm,
growth on customer experience and customer requirements, right?
mm-hmm,
And then
hmm.
also,
Yes,
given
true.
that Livara is all about customer experience, the whole
Mm,
setup helps us improve on our
mm,
deliverables. In Uganda, we have a
mm,
big problem of customer care generally. Javas has done
mm.
a very good job, and I want to be like and better than Javas because I really look up
You mean
to,
cafe
yes,
Javas?
Cafe Javas. Have a
Yeah,
very good
yeah.
customer centered.
It's probably the best in the
Yes,
country right now.
yes.
Yeah,
And these
yeah.
are perfect examples for us to actually pick a leaf from and also apply in other areas. So I needed now to have that experience also in my centers, and it has helped push the growth because from just one salon
Mm,
this year, we now have 3 salons, of which one is a franchise, and we have 4 franchises lined up to be opened.
mhm,
So we have reached this point whereby our brand is being strongly recognized and people want a share in it. Now, for me, I'm all about job creation, impact, and
okay.
giving people an experience. So if I cannot,
I want to.
and giving people an experience
Mm,
with products and experience with managing their own businesses. So, provided
mm,
people
mm,
align with
mm,
our values, cause, and legalities, then they can
mm.
own a Livara shop in a different town across the region, which is working out
So
very
so
well.
so tell
Mhm.
me something,
Yeah.
which I found fascinating. When I was reading the material you sent me,
Mm.
the amount of time you have dedicated to studying hair.
Yes.
How did you do that?
I am obsessed with good things. I, I am passionate.
you.
For me, what
Mm,
I do becomes my life because I leave
yes.
no room for failure. One of my
Mm,
worst fears growing up was
mm,
poverty
mm,
and not being
mm,
able to achieve something I needed to achieve in life because of lack
mm,
of finances.
mm,
Yes, when I quit
mm,
my job, it was by choice and I lost out on the opportunity to freely travel. However,
mhm,
recently, my job is giving me
mm,
opportunities to travel through
mm,
sponsorships by
mm,
different people. So
mm,
I
mm, mm.
needed to really create something, an engine for growth, an engine that
We.
impacts, and an engine that solves problems. And based on
Mm,
that, I was sure
mm,
that I would reap
mm.
6, 10 years after. So I needed to be good at what I am doing. And that was very
So
important.
we, so that's what drove you to make sure you mastered
Yes.
this problem you were trying to solve.
Only that, I even design magazines, I design flyers, like I design anything
Hey,
around Livara.
hey,
As an entrepreneur, I
wow.
had to do that for myself to cut costs. Things were expensive at that time. So anyway, I, I needed to do those things. So And even when we are setting up our shops, I am present.
Mhm,
If it means bricklaying,
mm,
I know how I want my bricks laid. I know how I need,
mm,
I really, the thing must be executed to plan. Because if a customer comes in and
mm,
feels there is a problem
mm,
that we could have solved,
mm,
that irks me a
mm,
lot and it's a trigger for stress. So I need to manage that by dedicating time, mental energy
mm,
into what I do.
mm.
Yes.
Question for you. Question for you, Nsimenta.
Yes.
Who is your customer?
Oh, my customer is the African woman, preferably with natural hair, because I believe in promoting the real African woman, African man, African child in their natural essence. Livara is
Mm,
about creating a product or an experience
mm,
for an African by
mm,
Africans for Africa
mm,
and the world.
mhm,
So my customer is that African person, woman, man, child, because Livara is family centered. Our salons are family salons.
mm.
That African woman,
Do you have a solution for gray? Do you have a solution for gray hair?
let us be frank. Yes. You know, I also developed, I have a whole bunch of gray hair. The thing is, the fact is, hair must gray, and we are not going to
Yeah.
take it
Okay.
back. But we have
Okay.
natural
Okay.
dyes that can blacken or take it to
Ah.
the color you need. But we do not have
Okay.
a solution for
I
do
have.
not gray hair.
I, I am planning to reinvent my image. I want to try orange hair, so maybe that will help.
You know, you could take a leaf from some Indians I see with the orange brown hair.
No, no, no. I was joking. I was really, really joking.
Okay, thank God.
So, but back to a more serious question, and for me, I am looking at, so up until this point, you know you've told the story, but there are distilled lessons in there that I see.
Mm,
Things like hard work, principles. I knew you feared poverty and so on.
yes.
But but what has worked for you? What is it that has enabled you to achieve what you achieved at university, the excellence at Schlumberger, and now it translates itself into building the business that Livara has become? What are those things that drive you, that make it work for you?
There are values that we started with, that we still hold dear up to today. So our ethos are
Mm,
centered about around community, around quality, and around
mm,
profit and Christ. The way we came to the name
mm.
Livara, I was with my sister Teresa Karunji. We went on a fasting.
I know. I I've dealt with Terry before. I like Terry's energy.
Thank you. And her dedication to
Yeah.
quality. Oh God.
Oh, that woman is
She's like
something. That woman is something
she's
else.
like another Dawomi. I even get scared. But anyway,
Yeah, I know.
I
A
love you,
dynamo.
Terry.
Yes.
So the thing is, we have those ethos that we are centered around. The way we came up with the name
Yeah.
Livara was through a 3-day trip to Ginger, fasting and praying, iterating through all the letters of the alphabet to try to come up with a name. We tried
Mm,
to forge names, Capsina, Capsi, this and this. Things failed.
mm,
So when
mm,
we got tired on day 3 and decided to come back, then the name Livara popped in our mind, and it means God, nature, natural, whole. It means,
mm.
it's everything that we stood for because we are a
Yeah.
Christian founded company, right?
Mm,
So now
yeah.
for us, the
Yeah.
thing that has helped us grow and has kept us grounded are the 4
Mm,
things that we stand for. Community.
mm-hmm,
Do we
mm-hmm,
impact the people from whom we get the share nuts? Are we impacting our
mm-hmm,
suppliers? Do we see value
mm-hmm,
added to them?
mm-hmm,
Yes, we move on.
mm-hmm,
Quality. Are we adding science continually to everything that we do? Are we
yeah.
maintaining the quality SOPs and standards that we started with even today and only striving to improve them? Yes. Do we have a committed team? No matter how qualified they are, I just look out for dedication, commitment. Then I can work on the rest, right?
mm,
Then,
yeah,
lastly, are we profitable? Right? Everything is
mm,
driven
yeah,
through profit because I need money for the scholarships that I'm giving to the children of the share farmers. I need money if I'm
mhm,
going to add into research and development. I am a sucker for branding
yeah,
and quality. I need money set aside for that because it needs to
mhm,
continually be improved. With
mhm.
that in mind, it literally becomes a foundation for growth, and I will not compromise on that. The rest
So,
is
so,
okay,
so,
but and then also the last one is, remember, the reason we are is because we are providing an African solution for Africans. Now, I am
yep.
from Uganda. 90% of my raw materials are found locally. For me, it is important, absolutely important, to
Mhm,
use Ugandan raw materials because I want to sell whatever I have here in the Pearl of Africa. No other country is called the Pearl. We are the Pearl, meaning
mm,
there is something that is a
mm,
gem about us that we have to offer to the
mm,
rest of the world. So knowing that fundamentally and then adding value
mm.
to that and exporting it out there is what makes us who we are and continually drives us forward.
You know, Cement, I told you earlier on that while for you, you left with a first class degree, me, I left with a pass degree. So, as a student, generally,
Mhm.
I am very slow. So, I want to be sure that I have understood the lessons you have taught me today. So, I'm going to
Yes.
run you through my takeaways from listening to the story and what you have been telling us all through.
Mm.
Number one
Yes,
for you is faith.
absolutely.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Number two, a very clear dream that you are pursuing and you will not be distracted.
Yes.
Number three, a passion, a really strong passion for what you're doing.
Without a doubt, yes.
Number four, there is a thoroughness with the way you do your work.
Mm.
Then
Yes.
you are also a master of excellence. You go for the best.
Yes. I hate mediocrity.
Uh-huh. Then you find out, you invest in learning and mastering whatever it is that you're doing.
Yes.
The sixth is that you have an undivided focus on what it is your customer should get.
Yes.
Number seven, an extreme form of hard work.
Mm.
Number eight, a complete belief in yourself.
Yes.
With all those, that's how you have arrived where you are.
Yes. And with that, I will go further than I am.
Wonderful. Which now, I want to ask you a really personal question, and hopefully you can be generous enough with your information. So I was looking at this young girl or young lady
Mm-hmm.
who took a big risk,
Mm-hmm.
and at that age, with all those challenges,
Mm.
still found time to start a family and then scale up the business. Now, I, I want you to help me to understand how you balanced all these huge pressures in your mind and the decision making mechanism. First, forget Hillary Bamulindes. If the only option you have is to jump, you jump. I know that was done and you landed in Nakawa. Boom. Now, but then, family and so on. So, how have you had this mental strength and mental clarity to undertake these things?
Not everything has been rosy.
Yeah.
My first
Mm-hmm.
delivery was really bad. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so when I was 33 weeks pregnant, I was told that I did this 3D scan. So I was told that my
Mm-hmm.
son, I wasn't told, I saw on the scan, and then it was interpreted
Mm-hmm.
that my child had an incomplete brain formation. He had water
Wow.
in the part connecting his left
Mm-hmm.
side and right side of
Mm-hmm.
his brain. He had,
Mm-hmm.
according to the scan, 4 fingers on his
Mm.
left hand. He had 6 toes,
Mm-hmm.
and it was
Mm-hmm.
double on the right, on the big thumb. Then
Mm-hmm.
cleft lip and palate. Then it was
Mm-hmm.
just a lot of information that was wrong at the wrong time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Wow.
and then apparently
Hey.
my membranes were about to burst. It drove me into a
Hey.
depression, and it has taken
Sorry.
2 years to recover. So
Sorry. Sorry, Maxima. Sorry. 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 Sorry.
I abandoned
Sorry.
my business for 2 years. But because I had invested in the right people, they held up my business for 2 years. So investing in the right people at the beginning is very important. But for 2 years, Maxima Nsimenta, I left everything I knew to try to work on myself. So I may have the energy now, but have just
Yeah.
recovered now. That's why I have literally put all this effort back into my business. But 2 years I was away. And then unfortunately I was in an abusive relationship. So also that wasn't necessarily the best. Then I quickly got a second baby and it was bad. I have just recovered.
So,
But in the end,
Maxima, first of all,
yeah,
I am so sorry that I asked a question that's put you through this. I maybe I shouldn't have asked.
in the end we learn from experiences.
Yeah.
So one thing that I know for sure that I did right was
Mm-hmm.
invest in my
Mm-hmm.
team and have them believe so
Mm.
much in the brand that they were willing to carry it
Mm.
when I couldn't.
Mm.
The quality of product, like everything I had,
Mm.
they lifted the
Yeah.
business up. So it was easy for me to
Yeah.
come back and then
Mm.
reinvest my time in the
Mm-hmm.
business. So how did I
Mm.
manage? Honestly speaking, I was
Uh-huh.
depressed for 2 years. I didn't want to hear anything about Livara. I just needed to recover. And then I had postnatal depression.
Ah.
It was bad. But with therapy and help and family, I
Yeah.
pulled through. So again, family is important to me, and having a small circle of friends that believe in you to push you forward, because you
Yes.
will need them at a time when you can't do anything for yourself. Um,
You
so
know,
yeah,
Cimenta, what is ironic is that the when I told people that I was going to talk to you today, just the sheer outpouring of goodwill to you. I wish I could put it in a Livara bottle and deliver it to you. I mean, it was immense. So even the price that you have paid, as you've just described, there's a lot of goodwill out there for you. So don't feel in any way that whatever the experiences were for nothing. I mean, people just are in great awe and admiration of what you have been able to accomplish at a young age, and even through the difficulties that you've been through to get to where you are now.
thank you.
So, and therefore, so if you want a bit of a break, what I can do
I'm
is
back.
okay, good. Katujendi. So now, anyway, Omuchika a bit, and then you are back in.
Okay.
So, are you now out of Yuri?
We are planning on getting out of Yuri. So
By the way, I didn't tell you. I didn't tell you
yeah.
this, but let me tell you now. I have actually been to Livara twice
Oh,
with Kwesiga. Yes, but I just didn't tell you.
wow.
I would go. I went around with Kwesiga twice. We came, but you were not there. It doesn't matter. I said, don't tell her. I've seen
Hmm.
that. I admire that. So you were saying you have plans now.
We are in the process of getting out of Yuri because in order to really be, we have reached a point where we need more space. We need to have our
Mm-hmm.
own factory and we need to
Mm,
expand much more than we currently are. So I'm in the process of looking for the right people and partners to help me push out of Yuri and
mm,
push the brand out there. So we now have newer challenges. We have challenges of
mm,
skill, talented, getting the right talent to actually push us to the
mhm,
next level, getting much bigger financing to maybe set up our own factory spaces. And
mm.
generally, it's more of a talent team factory
Okay, so
part.
Nsimenta,
Yes.
I'm going to give you an offer. Okay,
Uh-huh. Yes.
if it's helpful to you,
Mm.
I am happy to work for you for free for a year as a board member.
Oh, thank you. That would be awesome. That would be very, very awesome. Thank you.
No worries. I spent 15 years doing that kind of thing, so I'm happy to give you 1 year while I do other things. But I'm happy to support you as a board member for free.
Thank you. And we will gladly come to Rejeo Farm and discuss that in detail.
No worries. I'm available. So whenever you're ready, let's talk about it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Go on. So you're saying you're ready to now move to.
Yes, to move out because we have really exhausted the space. We've even gotten extra
Mm.
containers, 40-foot containers. We are mature enough to be booted out. But I'm glad to say that I think we are professors. He calls us his most successful incubators. And I do not want
Mhm.
to let that light drop or be covered. I need to continue and prove to myself, to him, and to everyone who has really assisted us along the journey, and also to Ugandans as well, that we can get really indigenous entrepreneurs who can build a brand and take it global and it is successful on that global scale. So I need to prove that to myself and to our people as well, because many times we Africans, we don't have that really indigenous brand that is good quality, that solves real problems, and that is representative of us on the global scale. I really want to be that light to shine for our people. So help me God.
Mm.
Yes.
And you will. You will do it. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that you will. You've already demonstrated the ability to do that. So for me, I can see it already, and all the principles that guide you. So at this point is when I let the public come in and ask to speak to you. I will start with your childhood neighbor. The only mistake you made in terms of the company you keep. That's a meat roaster called Tonne. Aha, okay.
Maxima. It's always
Yo,
good hearing from you. It's always good to hear from you, but I'm also excited that you've really grown and matured, and you've gone to show the world who you are. Robert, I must tell you, her mother used to threaten us whenever we
why?
come to
Why?
visit
Be
her
careful the
store
secrets you
with bad,
divert.
with bad grapes. Huh? Jokutera. I never known Joku. A Lango boy not knowing what Jokutera means. So, I mean, she was an amazing, phenomenal woman. But Maxima, it's a great story, and again, a great story of your vulnerability as well. To really show people that sometimes it's important to pause. And I think that you've really, really shown there. But I think for me, the most exciting thing is seeing Livara from a hardcore, hard knock thing into the beauty that it is today, all the way in Dubai, where most entrepreneurs have not probably not stepped in years. I mean, it's a great exhibition of resilience, determination, and amazingness. That's all I'm going to say, and allow people to ask you the questions. I know you; you're my person, and I look forward to enjoying more time with you. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Thank you.
Okay. So for the people, you just click on your mic and I will let you speak. Let me start with Ali Ofono. Ali Ofono. Unmute your mic and speak. Ali Ofono.
Picha litwala WhatsApp. Litwala data.
Okay. I think it's
Anzi twala
um
wasi wali
okay.
kumukuti
Let
twala
me
data. Nice
let
new.
me okay. Okay. Let me bring in Shamim, one of our mentors. Shamim Matovu. Shamim, go ahead and speak.
Thank you very much. Maxim, thank you so much for sharing your vulnerability, first of all, with us. And I should say you're such an admirable young lady, and well done to you. So my question, which actually comes from what you just raised as, for you, you realize that the level at which your business is at right now is focusing on, investing in the right people. One of the
Yes.
things that I've seen is it's so hard for perhaps those conversations haven't been hard in small businesses. The importance of having investing in the right people. I would like to know what exactly you looked out for in terms of spotting the right people and perhaps developing them to get you to the level that your business is at right now. Thank you.
So currently I don't work with my team of highly academically learned people is just 4 or 5 of us, but the people who brought me to this level are the people that I started with, the team of around 32 people that we started with at the very beginning. So what I look out for, like I had mentioned before, when I'm having my interviews, it's all about okay, my sixth instinct really works well, but then again I don't really like to use it, but I look out for determination. um the first things first, can someone read? Can they write? Yes, it checks out. Did they ace their books? It helps if they did, if they're going to work in production. For that one I don't compromise. For other things, did they pass? Yes. Are they willing to learn and improve on who they are to become the person I need them to be? If it checks out, then I'm okay. Then the last thing is loyalty. So here I ask questions like your family, if you had maybe 5 million shillings, what's the first thing that you would do? I tend to look out for people who are willing to go back and invest in their family, because for me, that speaks a lot to me in regards to loyalty and understanding where you're from. But people who say get 5 million and then do something else, especially with the initial amount of money, that doesn't necessarily ring a bell with me. Okay, so for me, I'm all about loyalty, determination, commitment. If I have those intact, I am sure that person will fight for me and will fight for the business to take it to where they need it to be. And I have been right so far. So that's what I look out for. Now, moving forward, we need higher skilled labor. Of course, the dynamics are going to change. Now I need to look at books, experience, what's your 5-year plan, all those complicated things that I wasn't looking at before. So it's a different dynamic moving forward.
Right. So I want to bring in someone and let me see if she's there. Cindy Magara.
Yes.
Yes, yeah. Hi, Robert.
Okay.
Hi, Ma.
Cindy, before you
Yeah.
speak, I want to tell everyone that tomorrow I will be talking to you about the art of filmmaking. But I am telling everybody, please tune in because Cindy is another incredible woman. So, Cindy, talk to your fellow incredible woman, Maxima.
Yeah, actually, listening to Maxima gives me goose pimples. Um, I must congratulate you, Maxima, and encourage you to carry on with what you're doing. And I'm actually storming the market tomorrow to buy your products.
Yay! We are located at Ntinda in Chanja, Mutasa Kafero, Kansanga, and Barara. And moving soon
Ntinda
to Ugolobi.
Ntinda is an interest to me. I'll go look for them. And
Opposite Sunday Bank.
Si-
as I was listening to this,
Cindy,
yeah.
she's the shop. You know that junction from the road from Chambogo and the one from Chiwatule where they meet to go into Tinder Trading Center.
Yeah. I think
That's where her
I
shop
think
is. You can't miss it.
there's a quality thing nearby there. Quality supermarket.
Yes.
Okay,
Before.
before quality, yes. But
Okay, go on.
quality supermarket is one of the key features that I think along that stretch where you're talking about. I'll look for it. Um,
Yeah.
I think what I have to say, the story is amazing and it's so encouraging to Ugandans first and foremost. On average, people kind of think Ugandans are slow. So for me, who is actually a teacher, and knowing a lecturer at Makerere University and knowing a student or an alumni of Makerere University has come out and done all this and is this courageous, this dedicated, this brilliant, is really to tell us that we need to believe in ourselves and support ourselves more. And I think from now going forward, if I had the power, I'll tell everybody to use Livara products, but I'll start by using them myself. Um, just as a point of encouragement, really, this is amazing. And as a filmmaker, I think I should think about making a documentary of Nsimenta. I think,
Wonderful.
yeah, hers is a story that
Oh,
That,
every
thank you.
child gets to hear of and in all sorts of languages so that it reaches the entire country. Yeah. Keep it on. Bravo.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Let me bring in Esther Akulo Owor.
Thank you very much, Robert, and thank you so much, Maxima. I'm very proud of you. I met Maxima when I was enrolling her to a Rotary Club. I'm really a very proud leadership director of the Rotary Club of Kampala. Now, Maxima, I noted that you talked about your grandmother. She played a very critical role in
Yes.
this journey. I
Mm.
do not know how you're encouraging people out there, because that is a section of people who are actually kind of dying away. But yet,
Mm.
in your story, you bring her out very clearly. And I think to all listeners, this is a very important thing that I would want to know. How are you doing that to be able to even remember her role in this journey? Thank you so much for allowing me speak, Robert.
Welcome.
First of all, I
Okay.
must say, remember I talked about my son being diagnosed with those things. So I
Yes.
prayed, I went into a prayer and fasting, even when I was pregnant. And after 3 days, well, I delivered, and my son only has a cleft lip that appeared. The rest were
Oh,
miraculously gone. Like, that's what
wow.
we
Wow.
faith
Wow.
again is extremely important. I can never let go of that. So my son
Right.
John
Right.
is a miracle, and his name was actually gotten in church when we were praying for him, and he was kicking people. So the nun told me to name him John because John the Baptist was Jesus's first visitation, and he was kicking when Jesus went to visit. That's how I named my son John. But anyway,
Okay.
that aside, how do I ensure? Remember when I said when I'm hiring people, I look for people who remember where they come from. Now, my
Mhm.
life, I like to remember where I've come from. I need to know my history because it is from my history that I can map out my future even better. The people that helped us down the road blessed
Mhm.
us somehow. And then also, had I not shared with my grandmother about my business, she would never have told me
Mhm.
about Yuri. So the fact that I'm at Yuri and I now have all these shops and all these products out there, there's a divine reason why she was the person to connect me. So I can never forget her. Livara's story is written because of her, of some part that she played in my history. Now, yes, we tend, especially the young people, we tend to forget the people that helped us along our journey, which is very wrong. We need to
Mm.
remember them and continue to thank them even when they are alive and remind them of the part that they have played in our lives. Because again, back to the Bible, the blessings of a parent are always divine and always add up somehow. I like living
Mhm.
on blessings from older people because of that. So for me,
Mhm.
when they bless me, I actually take it literally and I bank on it
Mhm.
because the universe listens. If you don't believe in God, trust me, there's the law of attraction. The universe listens.
Yeah.
So when someone
Yeah.
speaks, take it seriously, bank on it.
Yeah.
The universe will
Yeah.
always pay you back. So again, for me,
Yeah.
anyone that has helped me along the way, I will
Mhm.
shout out their names and I will remember
Mhm.
them because somehow they will
Mhm.
continue to help me along the way moving forward.
Right. Let me bring in Baggy K. Baggy K.
Good evening, Robert. Good evening, Maxima. Thank you. Very, very deep story, and thank you for sharing that vulnerable part of you. It's maybe what not many people are able to see as someone is going through the struggle. And all credit to you. And for someone who has been through so much and yet been able to sail through and come through where you are now and giving us great products, well done. Now, my bit is an ask of you to just maybe speak on Yuri. I think it's an underutilized resource, which most probably many people are not aware about, especially when it comes to adding value to products. I've had a little training at Yuri to do with adding value to meat products. Maybe something Tony might want to look into, maybe incubating over there.
No, 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 no,
But
no, 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 no. Please, please, please,
but
please, please.
what basically can you encourage, especially young people, small scale industrial business people? How can you encourage, or what can you speak on, Yuri, to encourage people to utilize it, because it's there for us as nationals, but I think not many people are aware of what is available to them or to us as far as research and investing in products is concerned, especially where good quality comes in.
Okay. So one thing that many of us fail at, many business owners, is that we want to copy and paste. We don't want to understand why a product exists. Um, that's the
Mhm.
reason I would think most people don't know about Yuri. Someone sees a product on the market, they immediately want to copy and paste and then go and do the thing in their kitchen and then fail miserably and that they hadn't been advised. Now, Yuri is Uganda Industry Research Institute. It exists, its mandate is to incubate, enable entrepreneurs or young business owners who might not necessarily know the science behind developing a product. It helps them create products that are market ready. It even has departments that help with marketing. It has a department that helps with branding. It has several different departments. Right now, they opened up a facility that does machining as well. So it guides you to create a product that is market ready. After they have helped you develop the product, then it is upon you to get your other scientists to work with them and then add extra value to the basic education that they have given you. I think URI is a very, very good and fundamental government institution that needs to be funded way more than it's doing because it's adding extra value to industry. So URI does not only focus on cosmetics, it also focuses on different things, wines, making clay pots, making, there's woodwork, there is machine work, there is tailoring, there is coffee making, there is tea, there's juice, there's milk. Mega milk is made at Yuri. There is yogurt. There's all sorts of industry ready products that one can create from Yuri. Now, the process of getting in there is simple. Apply. I also applied. Look for because you cannot get to see the people that will give you the incubation without an application letter. Then also they require people to have some sort of business plan. This is the other part where many of us entrepreneurs, Uganda entrepreneurs, fail. We don't want to put in the work to study and see if the idea we have is really marketable and will be profitable, because Yuri again is all about sustainability. They will not give you an incubation if they think that what you're making is not sustainable. That is one thing we need to be clear, on. So they need to see that you understand exactly what it is you're going into. You may not know the science of creating the product, but you must know that if you create product A, this is how it's going to play on the market. Then with that raw knowledge, they refine it, assist you to create something, and then you move forward. That is Yuri for you.
Right. Okay. Lydia Damzungu.
Thank you very much, Robert, for this platform.
Welcome.
Maxima, your story is really very moving. Thank you so much. I am a satisfied customer of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank
I
you.
just to let you know, I imported your products for home use in Italy.
Yo,
Ah,
thank
that's
you.
we've gone global already.
Wallahi.
So me and my girls, we all have natural hair, so we use your products.
Thank you.
Wow.
I have like 2, 3 questions. First, the is it the hair food
Yes,
in a
please.
black round tin? I
Yes.
moved I moved here in August, but it all melted and it's like particles. So I don't know how best to deal with that. Although when you apply, it does melt out, but in the tin it's like particles. I don't know. Maybe you need to improve it that when it's exposed to the sun, it does not, or maybe it melts back together or something like that. The other question I have is that your story seems very, very close to that of engineer Dr. Eunice Adubango of Eunice Kitchen, whereby you're all engineers, but you end up venturing into other things. So, as a mother, how do I mentor or nurture my children to do or start out in the things that interest them, in the things that they are good at or they have passion for? Then I feel like being an engineer and venturing into other product is like meandering. I just have a challenge. Yes, that is my thinking. And also, how do you encourage the young girls out there who probably think these manufacturing things are for a certain grade of maybe tribe or a certain grade of class? Is someone who is not educated able to venture out and be able to come up with something? And yes, thank you. And also, are you available to speak? I am a sports administrator. Are you available to speak to some of our communities that probably could be skilled in some way or another in your area of influence? Thank you.
Thank you, Lydia.
Those are 4 questions.
Go
So,
on.
the raw shea butter is 100% natural and organic, and it is made using some beeswax. So when it melts, when it's at room temperature, it's intact, it's solid, but at 29 degrees centigrade, it melts into a liquid form. Put it back at room temperature, it will try to coagulate to its natural solid state. Now, because it's blended with beeswax and maybe with beeswax, or maybe it is very sorry, because it's blended with beeswax, usually the beeswax may not necessarily let it coagulate to its complete state. Also, just the raw natural shea butter tends to particulate at when it's trying to get back to the solid form. Now, it is not that it's losing its potency, it is just the state of transition from solid to liquid that doesn't necessarily give a uniform texture afterwards, but it will do the work. I'm sure you have noted that it will melt back on your skin and then do the work eventually, but it's just the state of transition. There is not much I can do if we are dealing with 100% natural products. If I were to transform it into, say, a cream or a lotion, I would easily manipulate that. But because we are working with something natural in its natural state, then we have to deal with it in its state. So we usually tell people to understand the transitions and also make videos around it to educate people about the beauty of this natural gem that we have. So the other question was, we are engineers and we are meandering. So we are we are not meandering, Manang. The thing is, our education system right now, unfortunately, does not necessarily develop skills in different areas until vocational level, right? So we are stuck into these employment kind of systems that were set out way back in the colonial era. Now, children are not necessarily meandering. They're simply understanding who they are and then venturing out into the fields that they feel they're most comfortable in. Remember, I mentioned that I had 8 months of not knowing who I was and not knowing where I wanted to be. Had I been introduced to these different things earlier on, maybe I wouldn't have wasted a whole 8 months to try to discover myself. Maybe I wouldn't have gone through the journey of electrical engineering, blah, 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 to try to get to where I am today. The thing is, expose your children. If you're able to travel, then take your children to different areas, let them see different things that are available in the world that can change them. If they are not able to travel, then use the internet wisely, right? Don't put just cartoons all over the place. Show them different things. Show them, there's a documentary called Africa. Teach them about animals in different regions. Show them shows where people are making cars, people are making trailers. Show them shows where people are making cosmetics. And all this is available on YouTube. Expose your children early through the different media that you can. Either travel, let them
Yeah.
see, or put it on the TV. Instead of focusing on social media, Facebook, let them see that or let them read. Because books are also another way in which you can travel the world, right? So keep that open minded. And if a child is willing and ready to try out something else, do not be so strict on them and tell them, no, go and read, go and do this. A friend of mine called Priscilla Nakalembe likes telling us that she makes her children cook, clean, and do all sorts of things at home. Very nice, because you teach children to use their hands. Eventually, when the time comes, you'll be amazed that it's the things that we use our hands for that will actually give us the money to move on to the next level, right? Because creativity
Yep.
comes through writing, comes through art, comes through envisioning and putting on paper what is in your mind. So never restrict your children. The other
Right.
question was,
Would you speak to people?
yes, I mean, it's an opportunity to spread the love of Livara and spread the love of adding value to Ugandan
Don't
products. Wallahi,
don't
anytime.
I know that?
Yes. So I would definitely love the time, provided it works with my calendar. Yes, I'm ready for that.
Okay, and one more question. Annette Naziwa.
Hi, Robert. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for the opportunity to speak. And